Hello and welcome to DC Comics 6 with me, James 6. This week we're doing week 2 of Convergence, so I'm going through every single comic that was out as part of Convergence this week. And yes, let's give it a go. Okay, so we start off with Suicide Squad. There is a movie coming up about the Suicide Squad, but you won't see most of these characters because they're mostly pre-Zero Hour characters. But it's quite cool to see some of your favourites, like just kind of hanging about in there. We've got Green Lantern Parallax. Parallax is the kind of evil alter ego Hal Jordan, and Kyle Rayner is also in this issue, which is really nice to see if you are a big Kyle fan. It does definitely look at the emotional impact of Parallax in this comic book. Supergirl Matrix. This is a very odd one. It was actually quite a fun one to read, especially if you didn't have much idea about the character. You'll quickly love her. She's a bit ditzy, but it's great. We've got Convergence Superboy. Oh yes, this was another really good one. We see how Superboy's emotional levels change when he doesn't have powers, and it's just really interesting to see it, and how the world that's coming to get him think he's like Superman and he's the strongest person there, and you know, perhaps he is. He's got a lot to do if he wants to save his world. Catwoman turns quite good in her issue. She's trying to still steal jewels, but yeah, she's doing it for the right reasons, sort of. Yes, and guess who Catwoman has to face? Another world's Batman. We have Batman, The Shadow of the Bat, with Batman and Azrael. We also see the storyline, which is focusing around Tobias Whale. It's really interesting, really cool, and it works as almost like a standalone from even just the Convergence series. It's very interesting as its own unique story. We have Green Arrow. Yes, he's another character who it's quite nice to see the old version of him actually. Not quite used to seeing him like this. With the old kind of cap, but yeah, it's a nice read. Not quite like the TV show these days, but still nice. Superman Man of Steel, Steel and his two kids. It's a cute story. It definitely feels very old school reading this. You'll see how far comics have come since this one. Justice League International. I should have loved this more. I did used to read Justice League International with the old team, but I didn't love this writing. Blue Beetle just kept going on about how he's the only one with powers, and the only one without powers. See, yeah, no, not good. And finally, Aquaman. He's the grittier Aquaman. He's the one with the hook for a hand. Still pretty badass. Yeah, I think a lot of people think Aquaman's only recently become quite a cool character, but you know, if he was doing it for a while, yeah, praise to Aquaman. So in this set of comics this week, we have 4 more worlds battling it out. We got the pre-Zero Hour Metropolis, which is kind of what all of them are in. We got the Electropolis, which we see mostly in the battles in the comic with Matrix Supergirl. Metropolis Kingdom Come Universe, that one we see a lot of in Superboy, and the San Diego, California one as well, but you can see, well, you can't see, but Grifter's in that one, and characters like that. That's the complete lineup of this week's comics. I hope you pick up something of this week's Convergence. It is a really interesting story, and it's nice to see some of these characters and teams that we've lost in the kind of New 52, such as Justice League International. If you want to find out more about Convergence, you can watch last week's video, or you can watch next week's video. I'll be doing the same thing next time. I'll be looking through all the different comics, and maybe I'll write a little bit more in depth on the article on EQView.com.